Hey guys, Harley Q here, and today we are doing another monthly pickup videos. But before we jump into the month of October, there's just two things I have to say. First of all, just on the 1st of November, which hopefully by the time this is posted is probably going to be posted probably by November 3rd or 4th. But anyway, the 1st of November, we celebrated a year of being on YouTube. Now, I haven't consistently been posting for a year, but it's officially a year for me since I posted my first video, and I really started posting consistently probably in like April, March, and I'm really glad that I'm, sharing my building of a game room with you and all of the tips and tricks that I've learned while building. So, just yay for that. Another huge thing that we need to celebrate is we've reached 100 subs. And that doesn't sound like much, but for a small person like me who only gets a few interactions in the comments and likes, I appreciate every single one of you and everyone that has been sent here from other channels, from other shoutouts. Thank you so much, and just generally from the bottom of my heart, I really truly appreciate you. I have never felt so loved in my life just to meet this small goal. So here's to the next 100. Alright, anyway, enough talking about me. Let's get into what we're actually here for. So, the month of October was actually a pretty solid one, and it's funny because I thought I got all of this last month, and what I do when I do these monthly videos is I have a particular corner on my dresser where I leave everything. So, as the month goes on, I just kind of continue to pile them up. So, I mentioned last month that we're going to start doing things a little differently here, where we're going to add DVDs and figurines and things like that as it goes on, because I don't just collect video games. This channel mainly is a video game based channel, but there are things that kind of intertwine with that. I have mentioned that I'm frequently now go to the Goodwill. I think it's probably the best place to start is to share all my Goodwill pickups, and it's funny because I don't remember getting all of this from the Goodwill, but I actually got some pretty cool stuff. There's one or two things missing from here. I've given them to Red because he did a Goosebumps video lately, so I'll just kind of do a little plug right here, or here, probably over here is better. So yeah, we'll plug Red over here. He just did an amazing Halloween episode. He really does such better editing than I do. But he did one on Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark, and I actually found the DVD that he's talking to while at the Goodwill this month. So there we go. That was $1.99 in case anyone was wondering. That was the price, because all of the Goodwill prices are the same all of the DVD prices are the same in this one Goodwill. So it was $1.99 for that DVD in case anyone was wondering. I mentioned DVDs because the first one that I'll pull out is Hey Arnold. It's the whole first season. The box is a little cracked, but whatever. I get this because I love Nickelodeon, all of their old 90s stuff, early 2000s. I loved Hey Arnold. A lot of people loved Hey Arnold. I saw this and I picked it up. I mainly got it for Reddington because he's really into the nostalgia DVD collecting. But I kind of wanted it too, so I was pretty excited to get it. And, yeah, it was $2. So, and you can see that I got it on the, if my camera focuses, well, I'll never know. So, yeah, I got it on the 12th. I literally got it as it came out. Like, as they put it on the shelf, I picked it up. So that's pretty exciting. Actually, this set, I'm going to save. There's two things I'm going to save for last, which I got from the Goodwill, because I got some pretty good pickups this month, but I don't want to share them right away because they're just that good. There was one day at the Goodwill when I was there, and I was buying something. I don't remember what I was buying. It wasn't anything that great. But I saw that they had Nintendo DS games in the glass counter, and I didn't want to leave with just buying the one thing that I was going to buy. I wanted to leave with a physical game. So I found this SpongeBob game. Oh, I remember. It was the day I bought Hey Arnold. I wanted to leave with a game. I remembered because the price tag matches the date of Hey Arnold. But yeah, it was complete in box, and I didn't really save much money on this one. This one was kind of one of those silly Harley moments where I bought it because I didn't want to leave without a game, which I've mentioned to you several times on this channel is a reoccurring theme in my life, because sometimes, and a lot of collectors I've known to do this, will buy something because they don't want to leave empty-handed. Although I wouldn't have been upset leaving with just the Hey Arnold DVD. I don't know. I think part of the reason is I watch so many of these other channels that get these amazing pickups from the Goodwill, and I sometimes feel a little upset because I can only go 1 to 2 days a week to the Goodwill. So it's like harder for me to go. I usually go Tuesday or Wednesdays, depending on the day. There was one week, actually the week where I got the really good thing from the Goodwill, that I went 3 days that week, and I just happened to get there on a Tuesday, and that's when I started doing Tuesdays, because I started realizing that my Goodwill restocks every Tuesday and Wednesday, not just Wednesday. This next one I got, actually the week after, I saw Uncharted. I saw the Uncharted game, and as I mentioned in my last video, I want to say, is I got an Uncharted game, and it was damaged. This isn't the same one, though, but I don't have any Uncharted games. Well, I mean, now I do, but I didn't have any Uncharted games. I'm starting to get them all. And I know it's a good series. I've heard good things about it, and I don't know why I've never played it. The PlayStation 3, although I owned one when it was obviously popular, I mainly played more on the Xbox 360 because a lot of the people I knew that played online played on the Xbox 360. And a lot of the games came out for both systems, so I generally just bought for Xbox 360. There was only a couple of games that I played specifically for the PlayStation 3. So you have like Heavy Rain and there was other games, but I don't remember. Heavy Rain. Jason! The Last of Us, there we go. So there's Heavy Rain and The Last of Us, and I got it for those two. And I played other games. I played all of the Arkham games on there, unless you count the newest Arkham game. But I have all the Arkham games for my PlayStation 3. Generally, if it was a game that was graphics-based, I would get it for the PlayStation 3. I still do that even for when I have to choose between the two, I'll usually get it for PlayStation. That's just how I've always been. Uncharted was a series that I just happened to miss. It's funny because there's a lot of these big series that I just missed out on, and Uncharted was one of them. So I'm now collecting the Uncharted games. This one apparently is not worth too much, so I did save money buying it, which to me is ultimately important, but I didn't save that much money. So, you know, again, I've mentioned it before, as long as I save some form of money, I'm happy with making a purchase. And then there was, Naruto? I never know how to say it. I feel like every time I say it wrong, so I'm just gonna run with it. And this one is not a cheap game, but not an expensive game. It doesn't have the manual, so obviously that brings down the value a little bit, but I feel like these games, no matter where you get them, are always a solid pickup. Generally, anime games of any form hold their value because you have people who collect them because they like anime, and then you have people who collect them because they like video games, and you put the two together, and you just have people who want them. So this game isn't super expensive, but it's not cheap either, so it was a good pickup, is my point. Okay, so this was another one where I picked it up because I didn't have anything with me that day. I got it to flip. I had no intentions on keeping it because what I'm doing now is I'm purposely buying things so I could later sell them. And this is one of the things I picked up. And when I looked up the comps for it on eBay, they were okay. I would make some money on it. So I think I paid like $4.99 for this. And it's the, Disney Infinite Portal. It's not even opened yet. I made the mistake of not checking the factory number on this. And this is the one that's universal for pretty much everything. When I did research on it, I realized that it was universal. So the only one it's not universal for is the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One. Apparently that's the more sought after one because it only works on those systems, and I believe this one works for all of the other Disney Infinity things. There might be some information wrong about that, but generally this is the one that's cheaper. So I could still make money selling it. I'd probably make about $5 or $6 selling it online because I'd probably sell it for $15 as opposed to having the other one sell for $20 to $30. My plan for this one now, since it is still factory sealed, I'm going to just hold on to this until I get Disney Infinity figurines, which ironically will lead me into the next one. So this was another thing I picked up at the Goodwill. I actually picked it up a week before I got this one. And the goal was to sell this because it's in box and everything, and the comps for this one on eBay were like $25 and $30. I have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it was like almost $20 to $30 for this. So my goal was to actually sell it, but I'm deciding to keep it because something you guys don't know, because you've never seen a house tour, my kitchen is all Star Wars. So I have Star Wars figurines everywhere. I have that top part of my countertop. Maybe I'll do a video of it. I have all Star Wars stuff up there. So I was thinking I might actually end up putting that up top next to all my R2-D2 figurines and just keeping it in the box. I haven't figured it out yet, though. But it was I got this the same day I got the Uncharted game and the Naruto game. So I was happy to get it, and it's just kind of ironic because I've been seeing kind of a lot of Skylander stuff showing up at the Goodwill, and it's usually figurines that aren't worth that much. There was one that I saw in box that was there, and it was only worth like a couple dollars. Even if I sold it, I'd probably only make $1 on it, so I didn't pick it up. And I don't really want to get into Skylanders, but I some reason want to get into Disney Infinity. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. This seems more of a stable market than Skylanders, because Disney collectors are strange people. Well, they'll collect things just to have them. Like me, who's probably going to keep Disney Infinity set in a box just because it's Star Wars. You know, if they had the Night Before Christmas one at the Goodwill, I totally would keep it as well. So, and I'll probably at some point buy them too. But yeah, people will probably end up just buying the figurines just to buy the figurines, very similar to Amiibos and stuff like that. I feel like that's not going to be as much of a thing with Skylanders unless you're like hardcore into Skylanders, which I just don't see that happening. This just seems like more of a collectible, stable genre. So, see, the last two things that I got, they're all both pretty good. They're both pretty good. So, I mean, I could start with either. One's probably better than the other. I don't know. I guess it depends on, like, what exactly you want to collect when you go to the Goodwill. But I was pleasantly surprised to see, and this was the last thing I got at the Goodwill this month. So I'll show this one off because I think the other one's just better. I can make money off of that one. But I got a Kinect for the 360. For the 360? Yeah, 360. See, it's right there. 360. This was $10. I believe this sells for like 20 to 30. I have no plans on selling it. I don't own a Kinect. I mentioned that with the last video. There was a couple of games that I bought, and I definitely know that Reddington could use this for his videos. As much as my channel is about game collecting and stuff, I don't really do that much gameplay videos. I mainly talk about the collecting aspect of it. So I could see myself using this at some point, but just not necessarily now. But yeah, I thought for $10, I've actually been trying to get one of these for Reddington, specifically for that Rise of Nightmare game that I got him for the 360. So I was pretty excited to grab this. And I got a 360 from my dad's house. That was a newer version, which is compatible with this, so I should be able to play it. I actually found the power cord at his house just a couple days ago. So now I can do Kinect games, and that's pretty awesome. Okay, so the story behind this one. This, I will just show it without showing it. I saw the cases. This is when they were restocking. They brought out their big wheelie thingies. Wheelie thingies. So they brought out their big carts with the wheels on them, full of inventory to put out on the shelves, and I happened to walk past this one, just sitting there like this, and I knew when I saw them they were PlayStation 1. So I started to run over to it, and a little boy, he's not really little, but everyone's little in comparison to me because I'm like a dinosaur now, but a younger gentleman, I should say, was looking at them, and I thought, oh great, like I literally was 2 seconds too late. And he walked past them, and as soon as he walked away far enough, I ran over and grabbed them because this one was sitting on top. Resident Evil 2. And it's funny because this was put out on the 21st, which was the day after I went and got those other games, the Uncharted and Naruto game. So that's what I said. I started going 2 days in a row because I didn't think I was going to be able to make it that Wednesday, so I switched and went Tuesday, and then I ended up being able to go Wednesday, and then it just all worked out. And I was just going to pick up this one, but then they had Gran Turismo and Gran Turismo 1 and Gran Turismo 2. And then they had Siphon Filter 2. So I figured I would just grab them all because for me, it's so rare to see a PlayStation 1 game in the Goodwill at all. It's very rare for me. So I was very, very, very happy that I saw these there. And they were $4.99 each. And, you know, I checked. Everyone had their discs in there. And my goal was to actually sell some of these games before I actually put them up or did this video, because I'm now getting to a point where I'm reselling, and I'm not reselling to make a huge profit, but I'm reselling to make my money back that I spend on games, and, you know, basically to just fund buying more games. So that was the reason why I bought Resident Evil 2. The rest I'm going to keep, because I don't have any of these games. Although the cases are damaged on these, like I would probably put this down on eBay for, I think it sells for like $37. I'll probably put it down for like a $5 discount just because the case is damaged. Same thing for these, the cases of all of them are very damaged. So what I'll probably do is I'll hold on to these until I can get better versions of those games, and then I'll sell these ones off, which is a great tip for building a collection, is sometimes buy a crappy version of the game and just replace it with a better one later. That's up to you. So the town that I lived in did a community yard sale, and it's funny because I was driving around and I was actually about to give up because I had checked like 3 or 4 yard sales and none of them had really anything there. And it was kind of cold that day and I didn't really feel like parking and walking around. So it was like driving, stopping and everything. So I didn't like really want to go to any more because I was starting to get upset, which it does happen. There are going to be times where you go out and you're not going to get anything. And I just figured, you know what? I had such a good haul last month. I'm probably not going to do this month. Not every month can be a banger. So I started to give up. And then I saw this yard sale. I pulled up to it and it was great. It was literally a long driveway of just tables full of DVDs and like CDs, and there was a small table with video games. So I got so excited and I just ran up to it and started like screaming. Not literally screaming. I've always wanted this and I never owned it, and I just saw it there. It was Guitar Hero on Tour for the DS. I always thought it was so cool that they used the Game Boy Advance slot for the actual guitar, and I wish that more Nintendo DS games did this because I love having that advance slot in the bottom to have games and have 2 games there at once. I just thought that was such a cool feature, and to like use the system that way, I don't know, I think that's amazing. But it's still in the box. I think it's been played with because there's some writing on the box, but like everything, it's packed in there very well. So, you know, it's just, for me, I feel like this is just a cool piece of memorabilia to have. Another one that I had no idea this was even a thing was Rock Band. This is all coming from the same yard sale, by the way. Was Rock Band Unplugged for the PSP. Like I mentioned before, I don't really own as much handheld games as I should. So a lot of handheld games I noticed I borrowed from friends to play instead of owning them myself. I saw these 2 and I automatically picked it up. Another game I got there, but I actually sold, I got Mario Kart for the Wii. And I sold that right away. I actually took one of the extra Wii wheels that I got from my last pickup last month, and I paired it to make like a combo pack, which I sold for, I believe, $30 on eBay. So pretty much just selling that alone gave me the money to pay for all of the games that I bought at this particular yard sale. I spent like $25 there because I bought a bunch of games and I bought some DVDs. So I'll try to share some of the DVDs and stuff that I got. Another one that I picked up was Knight's Journey of Dreams. I saw this one, and I know that there's like one Knight's game that's like kind of expensive. I don't actually know the name of it, and I'll actually look it up when I get a chance. But I just, you know, I saw a Wii game that wasn't like shovelware, so I picked it up. Again, all same. This is all still in the same yard sale. And then there was there was a Spyro game that I picked up, and this one was I think they sold me all the games for like $2 a piece. And pretty much I've noticed that any kind of Spyro game generally holds its value, especially complete in box. It's usually about $10 or more. I'll do a franchise breakdown of Spyro at some point. But I just saw Spyro and I automatically picked it up. I also picked up this one too. It's Sonic and Mario, but I just got so excited to actually be around games that I made my famous mistake of not actually checking the case. So I just have the case, but I'm staying optimistic because my new thing to do is when I make this mistake is to just sell the case, because I did do that with another Mario Kart where I picked it up and there was no disc inside. I actually just sold the case on eBay and made like $12 off of it. So I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to sell it on eBay and we're just going to call it a day. So I'm going to make my money back. I've already actually made my money back from this sale because there was other games that I sold from this sale. It's funny because I didn't go through all my stuff to sell all of them, because I'm a goober. So down the road there was another yard sale, and they were selling these games all for $1. You got a Ratchet and Clank game for the PlayStation 3. It's missing its manual, but again, not a big deal. I could always buy manuals online to complete that. I think at some point what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go on eBay and find one of those random manual lots and just buy a bunch of manuals, and then at some point just kind of mix and match with the things that I don't have manuals for, which is also a great resource to do. People seem to like just ignore that. I definitely am one of those people. But yeah, it's a great way to complete a set too. You don't have to necessarily buy a game complete in a box. You can buy the CD, buy the manual, buy the box, or buy the box with the manual. Things like that. And I also got Minecraft for the Xbox One. I figured I'd flip this because I already own it. The disc isn't working though. I think the disc is damaged. I don't know if it's just because... Yeah, the disc needs to be cleaned. This is one of those things where I have to go through and I have to try and clean it and probably get it to work. I know this is no longer compatible because they have the Windows 10 version or something like that, but I know that there are people who would want to buy it anyway just because it's Minecraft and they like to have it out for display and whatnot. You know, I'd be one of those people, but like I've kind of mentioned before, I don't really buy Xbox One and PlayStation 2 physical copies unless it's something that I really, really want. And then there was Jak and Daxter, which I just figured is always a good game to grab. Again, no manual, and there's a crack in the case, but that's okay because I have so many extra PlayStation 2 cases that I can easily fix it for. This will happen when you're buying games, is that, you know, manuals and cover art and all this stuff will be damaged, and you'll eventually be able to mix and match and whatnot. So I will definitely swap out this case and put in a better one. This one is from a yard sale, but it isn't from that weekend. It's actually from a weekend before. And it was another kind of bust of a weekend where I really didn't get anything, but I did get these two. They wanted like $2 each. I don't really remember. I think they wanted $2 each, and I offered them $1 each for these because I didn't want to spend too much on them, but I did want to own them. So it was Fallout 3 and Dead Space. So I figured like anytime, you know, you see like a horror game or anything that could be put into the horror genre, it's definitely a game that you want to pick up, whether you want to keep it or flip it, because people always want to buy horror games. I'm one of those people. I own so many physical copies of horror games for my systems, and yet I never play any of them. It's more of to say that I actually own it, so there's that. Okay, so this is another one where I wanted to at least try and get one more good grab for the day, and I always check this yard sale app that I have on my phone, and I usually look in the search engine. I usually type in games or toys or whatever in the search engine and try to pick out the yard sales that have those. And this one obviously said they had games, so I stopped there. They were all $2 each, and the reason why I picked them up was, one, Xbox One games. I don't really know how they sell. I don't really sell them, but I did want to own Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain. I didn't own it, so I kind of grabbed it. I don't even know if I'm ever going to play it. I mean, that's probably not true. I'll probably play it at some point because I hear such good things about it. So, yeah, I'm just glad to have it. Not going to complain about it. So then there was Turok. I mentioned in my PlayStation 2, my favorite PlayStation 2 games, that I loved Turok Evolution. So I thought I owned Turok, and when I checked my price charting app, it wasn't on there. So I knew I had the game, but it wasn't on my price charting app, so I picked it up anyway. And when I got home and I ran to my 360 section, it was there, so I must have accidentally forgot to add Turok into there. So now I have 2 copies of Turok, so I'm going to end up selling this one because I don't need it. I don't know if I'll make a profit off of it. I don't even know what the price of this one goes for. Not that much money, I don't think. I'm definitely not going to keep it because I already had it, but that'll happen too, where you could have sworn that you had a game and then you check your catalog and it's not there. You live and you learn. You live and you learn. This one was just a weird title and I really wanted it for some reason. I've never heard of it before, and maybe I should have heard of it again before, but I don't know. I've never even heard of the publisher, D3. But I grabbed it and, you know, I just grabbed it. And then Disney Infinity. I've mentioned several times I'm going after a complete Wii U collection, so it didn't matter to me, and we seem to really be sticking with a Disney Infinity theme this month. Totally unintentional. I never really run into Disney Infinity, but yeah, I just grabbed it, and it really didn't matter to me. I just wanted it for the whole Wii U collection, and for $2 you can't go wrong. Hey guys, this is Editing Harley, and just so you guys know, this video was going to be like 40 minutes long, so I actually decided to cut it into 2. So this is just a quick outro. I got some really good stuff, so, leave a comment below what you think was probably the best thing that I got. Enjoy this picture of a potato, because I don't really feel like being on camera right now.